How much do people really care about what you think? Anybody, how much do they really care about what you think? How much do they really care about what you feel? At work, you spend a lot of time on your job. Does your manager care what you really think? They care about how you really feel? Or they just want you to do your job, you're getting paid for it, do your job, go home, don't cause me any problems. Give me all you can, and we'll pay you as little as we can in return, but we want all we can get from you. Isn't that more the attitude? More of a selfish, self-centered orientation in the business world, in your livelihood? What supervisor, what boss have you ever had that cared about you, your personal life, you as a human being? Now, it's not because your supervisor or your manager is a bad person. It's just they're caught up in their life, the pressure they have to make money, their pressure to meet deadlines, their pressure to meet goals, to bring in money. If they could do without you and replace you with a bot, an AI bot, they would do it. They could save money. That you can't make a living at it? Well, that's life. As soon as we can cut expenses by getting rid of you, we're going to do it. We don't care about your family. We don't care about you. We don't care about what you think, what you feel. Whether you can pay your rent, that's on you. We care about us. We care about the bottom line. This isn't an indictment on capitalism. This is just saying people are just into their reality, their selfish aspects of life, their self-centeredness. In an extreme case, you call it their narcissism. You go home. Sure, many have wonderful children, whatever age they are. Truthfully, how much does your son or your daughter care about what you really think? How much does your son or daughter really care about what you feel? How much do they really care about what you've been through to make a living? How much do they really care about your sacrifices to put food on the table and pay the rent and a roof over their head? How much do they really care? They're not bad kids. It's just that they've got their little world centered in that. They want to get that toy. They want to get that grade. They have to go to the ball game. They want to go see the friend. That's their world. And dad or mom, well, how much of a thought about what you think and what you feel? And not bad kids. Just talking about what is, for the most part. There's always exceptions. How much does your wife or your husband deeply care about what you think, what you feel? Oh, they might love you, might make you dinner. And that's good, that's love. But your reality, your anguish, your suffering, your struggle, how much does your significant other care and really want to know? I'm sure your wife, your husband, your significant other loves you deeply, but they've kind of got their world. You know, if you're the husband, your wife's thinking about what she's got to make. She's got to also clean this, and she's got to prepare for the weekend when you're going to make the trip, and she's got all these things going. She's just in her world, absorbed in that world. And you're out here. And she's not a bad woman. Oh, she might be a great woman. But where's the caring about deeply you, your life, who you really are? The inner man, the inner woman. See, when we're born into this world, a baby comes out. First, it's bewildering. Lights. It was pretty dark in where it came from in the womb. We all came from that womb. It was pretty dark. It might have been a spiritual light at conception, but I would imagine it's pretty dark. You come into the world of lights, and first thing is not, gee, I hope mom's okay. She just gave birth to me. She went through these labor pains. No, just, what is this light? And the child's just absorbed with that. And the next thing, a little while, hungry. Doesn't care if mom wants to breastfeed her or not. Just let me have that milk. And that's how it goes. And that's normal. That's survival. That's normal. So the question is, at what point does that little being go beyond, I want that milk, and hey, turn down the lights? At what point does that little being say that? Go beyond that to, Mom, I hope it's not too much for you to give me that milk. Care about you, Mom. At what point they start shifting from just me, which is normal, to, oh, you're here too. Ha! Who knew? I thought it was just me. Now, if the child never outgrows that, then they become a full-blown narcissistic personality disorder. And to a full-blown narcissist, you only exist for one reason. One reason only. You know what the reason is that you exist? To serve my needs. That's the only reason you're here. And when you can't serve my needs anymore, I don't even know you. So as long as you can serve my needs, we'll get along. And if you don't serve my needs, well, we're going to have a problem. The baby's there, and you don't feed it. You don't pick it up when it needs. They go, ah! Of course, you pick the baby, try to soothe it. And that's okay for a month, 2 months, a year, maybe. What about 10 years if they're still screaming when they don't get what they want? 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, they still go, wow, I didn't get what I want. At what point do people mature and say, oh, you're here too. And you are just as important as I am. Your needs matter. What point does that happen? That's what maturity is. When people can say, when someone can say, you know what? I'm really trying to get by. I'm really trying to meet my goals, trying to survive. But I know yours matters too. You've got your needs and your wants and your vulnerabilities and your struggle, and I care about that. Certainly, honor demands that. Any religious teaching from the divine educators would prescribe that. But it's a journey. It's a journey. So there is in us a selfishness, a self-centeredness, an exaggerated sense of self-importance, an exaggerated sense of self-importance. We have that. We start off with that. I'm number one. I'm up there number one. You're number 2, 3, 4. I don't even know, but I'm number one. What point do we go, I'm number one, but you know what? You're number one too. And you're number one too. What point does that happen? What point in maturity does that happen? Or does it ever happen? For some people, it never happens. Has it happened for you? Has it happened for me? I'm 84. It happened for me, but took a long time. A long, long time. How about you? Now, I'm presenting to you how to be less selfish and more humble. How to be less selfish and more humble. That's the title of today's presentation. How to be less selfish and more humble. Less selfish, less egotistical, less prideful, less narcissistic. That self-centeredness causes other people pain and makes us lonely. Because if I'm the only person in the world whose needs matter, I mean, you're not really here. I can't really feel you. I don't really see you. I can't touch you. It's just me. Me looking out for me. Getting what I can get. Now, that's a lonely life. He says, And then people don't like it. Other people say, what do you mean? Hey, bro, I'm here too. Boom, I want some of that too. So it leads to conflict. Now, then we suffer. And that suffer's a good thing. That suffering's a good thing. It's a wake-up call. So boom, oh, you're here? That suffering's a good thing. Then we go in life and we fail, we have setbacks. We suffer, we're in anguish. And that does something to us. It convinces us we're not God. Oh no, this isn't working for me. I'm fallible. I'm vulnerable. I must not be God. There must be something greater than me because I ain't enough. I can't handle all. I'm not handling all this that well. So then humility starts. The failures, the setbacks, it strips away the arrogance. The veil lifts. Oh, I'm imperfect. Of course, if to a man, if you're not convinced by that, your wife will help convince you the rest of the way. Believe me, your wife will convince you you're imperfect. That goes without saying. And your boss at work is going to convince you you're not perfect. So we get over those delusions of grandeur. And that's healthy because that's real. That makes us more humble. So we become less selfish, less self-centered, less egotistical, less prideful. Now, the way of honor, in the Supremacy of Honor Code, we say honor before pride, which is like honor before ego. I always tell people, pride is a cold lover. Pride is a very cold lover. You can't snuggle up with your pride. It's very cold. So if you want to have that warmth with your spouse, somewhere you have to find a way to put her before your own pride, before your ego, before your own needs. Now that's the beauty of having children. Finally, we say, oh, I would die for my child. My child needs a kidney. I give my kidney without hesitation. This divine spark of unconditional love is awakened. And at least one other person in the universe, this child of mine. Now, the child may not look at you that way ever, but you say, you're here. I love you. I die for you. You love your child before they were conceived. You love your child when they were in the womb. You love your child when they came out. That unconditional love without even knowing him or knowing her. And you really, if you hadn't learned then, you really learn, well, somebody else is here. You're putting them first. And that's the gift of the child. The child is going to be difficult. You're going to be vulnerable. You're going to suffer, and that child will be a big expense. You're going to be disappointed in your child. But the gift was that awakened the divine spark of love, the unconditional love, where you really finally start maturing and realizing there's another being in this world whose needs you're going to put before your own. What a blessing. That's the blessing of it. Putting that person's needs before your own. If you couldn't do it before, that sure wakes it up right there. Every normal parent has it. I say normal. Every normal parent has that instinct. So the journey goes from being totally self-centered, selfish, egotistical, in a journey of understanding others are in the universe. And then, if we're lucky, we understand our role is also to serve the needs of others. And the highest thing is to love all creation. It's even a higher level. And to sacrifice ourselves for one another. And honor demands that. The commands of honor, I wish you well. That's a step. What are the commands of honor? I wish you well. So you might be hurting. You still got to wish you well. Doesn't mean you hope to win the lottery. It might mean you hope they turn on or repent from what's going on. I wish you well. So you say, even though I'm hurting and I'm in my pain and I'm in my world, but I still wish you well. And even though you want to blame that person, you did this to me and that to me, and I'm going to get you back. And you're going on with that. You're just wrapped up in your own thoughts, your own narrative. And one of the commands of honor, I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. I've helped cause this. It's not just your fault. I added fuel to the fire, and I apologize for my end of this. I apologize. Please forgive me. One of the laws of honor. I apologize. Please forgive me. Humbled again, the apology and the asking for forgiveness. Enter the realm of humility. I apologize. Please forgive me. I was wrong. You were right. I'll never do it again. I have not always lived with honor, but I will die with honor. These are the laws of humility to be recited throughout the day, so always ready to address the world in that way, so we can go beyond our own self-centeredness, our own selfishness, our own narcissism, into a better life, a more honorable life, a life of more light and union instead of isolation. A person becomes very self-centered when they're in pain. They go through a tribulation. So one of the commands of honor, I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. So you're going through a medical situation, a legal situation, a financial situation. You want to shrink right into yourself and disappear into, what is this universe? I don't have money to pay my bills. Or I may have cancer. And the whole universe gets defined that way. So we're totally absorbed in ourselves. You say, I'm grateful for the power I gained from hardship. I know this can make me wiser. It's going to enable me to have more compassion. I'm going to be more humble from it. It's a gift. I look at it as a gift. If you believe in God, one of the derivatives of the commands of honor is God. I'm extremely grateful for the gift of trials and tribulations that bring me closer to you. So you come out of your shell. You come out, yeah, it's a good thing. So these are a way out of our being isolated, our being in a shell, our being absorbed in our own selves, going beyond it. Gratitude is the path to out. So many people have no gratitude. They just absorb. They feel entitled. They don't even thank you. Or you do something for them, a great thing for them. A year later, do they remember? No. You didn't do it for the gratitude. You didn't want anything, but it's to their loss that they don't feel that gratitude. And there's an epidemic of that amongst the children in this country. You know, they go to a therapist, they say, what did your mom do to you? What did your dad do to you? That's why you messed up that way. You should really tell your parents, set some boundaries. They don't say, let's look at what your mother did for you, son. Let's look at what your father did for you. And then in that context, whatever complaints you have are understandable. No. They did that to you? They did what? And I'm talking about normal parents that sacrifice themselves for their children. So lack of gratitude. So with respect to the parent, the child is already cut off, self-centered, narcissistic, because the parent is still the source of milk. Mom, where's that milk? Some variation. It's not the milk. Where's the money? It's still that same thing. And if the person is lucky, if the child is lucky, they outgrow that and say, Mom, you did so much for me. Sure, you made some mistakes, but it's nothing compared to how much you did for me. Heck, just giving birth to me and the pains of labor, that's enormous. I can never repay you, Mom, so whatever wrong you've done, whatever mistakes you've made, it's nothing compared to the love you gave me, the support you gave me. Whatever I can do for you, I want to do it, Mom. Now that is rare. You know, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying it's rare. Because of the self-centeredness, the selfishness, the narcissism that's in the world. This is January of the year 2026. That's how things stand at this time. It won't always be this way, but right now, that's what we deal with. Now, we're not just talking about other people. We're talking about us. We're talking about you. We're talking about me. We want to go beyond our self-centeredness, our selfishness, our egotisticalness, our narcissism, our pridefulness. We want to go beyond that in ourselves. When I say these things, you can think of many other people who have these issues, but I want to say, dear people, you have this issue. I have this issue. We're all things human. And the way of honor demands coming through that, above that, transcend that. One of the commands of honor, if you believe in God, as I do, is God, your wish is my only wish. Well, we know God doesn't want us to live that kind of selfish, self-centered, narcissistic, egotistical life. He wants us to serve one another. Or, if they don't believe in God, it's I seek always to serve my highest values. Well, the highest values is not getting over on everybody. It's just serving my interest at your expense. No, can't be part of anybody's highest values. We're on this journey together, imperfect beings with perfect teachings, either through religious teachings or the teachings of honor, which are inspired by the great teachings, the great divine teachers. Well, it's for my pleasure to present to you how to be less selfish and more humble, how to be less selfish and more humble. And I want to open up. We have a wonderful, wonderful audience, beautiful, lovely, wonderful people that I love, wonderful people. Every time when you speak up, you're helping everybody else who's here. You're going to help them a lot. Because when you speak up, people will say, I'm not alone. Others have this. And when you speak up, people say, I'm part of this community of honor. I'm so lucky. And people tell me they look forward to this. And they also tell me the highlight is hearing from each other. So I want to open this up for your comments, your questions. Some of you might be a little self-conscious. Some of you might have something you want to say, but others are speaking. Just jot it down and come back with it later. I want to hear from you. We all want to hear from you.
Nice to see you again, Doug, and hear you, Juan Soto.
Juan Soto, always good to hear from you, Juan Soto.
I just have to say about what you brought up about what other people think about you and stuff like that. It's a big common thing for everybody that some people get to that point where they, care about what other thinks about them. I'm that type of person that I really don't care because they don't know my, how much I have to suffer or how much I have to go through things. And a lot of us got to go through a lot.
And do they care about how much you suffer? Do they care? What?
That's my thing is that you shouldn't put yourself, and because once you put yourself in that predicament to the point where you care about others, then you're just gonna putting your whole family into that.
Exactly. So here's the thing: is
understand
that's the point. Yeah. Rather, what you think, you can't get what they care about, your thought, what you feel, but you can give that to somebody else. You may not care about what I think or feel, but I care about you. We can give that, but we can't necessarily demand that we get it. Exactly.
We don't know the sacrifice and the issues and everything else that comes with that, which is, a lot of negativity to other people and stuff like that. So to me, I just bring this issue up, which I'm glad that you brought it up because it bonds on you. It goes on you. You don't have to worry about what others think. You just got to worry about what your family thinks and what you're doing for them because they don't know the sacrifice that you have to go through to get to where you're at and get to whatever thing you have to do for your family. They don't pay your bills. You do it. You're out there working hard. You're out there sacrificing. You're out there, bruises and cuts and what have you. And that's the main thing that you got to worry about.
Well, the thing with the family,
your family thinks about you, not what anybody else.
Well, with the family, here's another story. In the family, if you're lucky, they're going to go, hey, Dad, I'm so grateful you paid the lights, you paid the rent. Dad, I know you work so hard. Tell me, what's it like to be you, Dad? Now, that's unlikely that you're going to, and that's what about the family. You care about them. But typically, they don't have that interest in your real thoughts and your real feelings, even within the family. And I realize what you're saying. Just be concerned about your family. I would say, I work with a lot of families. I rarely see it. And I'm talking about people who devoted mothers and fathers who devote, and nobody cares. And I'm not. That's just the nature of the world. It's not a condemnation. It's just what's happening. And it's up to us to go beyond that in ourselves. That's what I'm talking about.
The point with my personal thing, but also you brought up about your job, what they think about you and this and that. The only thing you got to worry about is that you got hired to do a job, and then you're the one that's doing the job, and you're the only one that can, speculate how you do your job. And if you do it wrong, of course, you're going to start thinking about what they care about, what they're saying about you. If you do your job right, because you got hired to do your job right, then you know what? You don't have to worry about anything else.
Well, most of the people, I hear you, and that's a very logical position. I hear time and again that a supervisor will talk down to an employee, belittle the employee, harass the employee, micromanage the employee, and not really care what effect it had, what that person thinks, what person feels. They don't care. As you say, just get the job done. I'm just talking about this again as a very self-oriented, self-serving, selfish, egotistical, narcissistic approach. And that exists in business. That's kind of the norm. And I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. I'm talking from people who are doing that job, but still are being degraded and humiliated on the job. And the boss, the supervisor does not care. So I'm talking about who really cares about you. No matter what they think about you, they don't care about you. They don't want to know your feelings, know your thoughts. That's the state of the world because the people haven't evolved into going beyond their own needs and wants and their own internal pressures. It's doable. The way of honor takes us that way. Whatever religious teachings you follow will take you that way. But that's a direction, and we're going to get in that direction. We're going there. We will. Exactly. But right now, that's not happening. Right now,
and I know a lot of us go out there and do the job that they hired us for, and a lot of us don't get that credit for what we do. But the thing is, what you're doing. God knows what you're doing, and that's all that should matter.
Well, it might be all that should matter, but it's not all that matters. I have many wonderful, wonderful people making good money, doing a good job, who say, I can't take it anymore. Boss is talking down to me. My coworker's talking down to me and being micromanaged, humiliated in front of other people. So just knowing I'm doing my job, that's not enough. I can't keep taking this at me. I know I'm doing my job, and even though you say it should be enough, but it's not enough. If we were perfect human beings, we could say that's enough and I'm good. That's what I'm talking about. And our job as people seeking to walk the way of honor is not to do that ourselves, for us to care about what that person is going through. And one of the laws of honor is, I hope to respond much more to your vulnerability than your negativity. I know you're getting negative like that because you're vulnerable. You're hurt. You feel humiliated. You feel abandoned, neglected, inferior, jealous. And I'm going to respond to that and not to that negative, ugly thing you're projecting out. That also will take you beyond your own self-absorption of hurt and feeling badly about what's being said to you. Thanks for your input, Juan. Who else has something you'd like to say?
Amen.
Doctor.
Yes.
Tony Cobos.
Tony, good to hear from you again, Tony.
Yeah, I'm sorry, boss. I apologize for last week. I had a sore throat.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're here now, and I hope you feel better, Tony.
Yeah, I'm doing better. Doc, I love the way that you mentioned something very interesting about. I met a lot of people through my career and business and everything. It's like narcissism. So I would like to ask you something about narcissism. I met a lot of people that really like people that look at themselves in the mirror and say, "I'm the best. I'm so good. I'm the
best. I'm the greatest." Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the greatest, and you know what I mean. And
yes.
do nothing's wrong, and they really stick with it.
Oh, they're people who don't outgrow that. They just think they're perfect, and you can't say anything that they're not, because they will go into a narcissistic rage. Exactly, that exists.
Yeah, absolutely. And I met a lot of people like that, and I had to deal with them. And my thank God, then I was the opposite. I was more like a humble about it, just to learn about these situations, because I never. And you say something's beautiful about the honor thing. They said honor before pride. Honor before pride, and it's very truth. You can have honor in yourself before the pride. You know what I mean? You have to understand that life is not easy, and you have to deal with these people. Hey, and they're all over the place.
Well, Tony, what people need to know about, I've said it before, I want to say it again. To a narcissist, a full-blown narcissistic personality disorder, you only exist for one reason only. To serve his needs. And if you don't serve his needs, or you say no to him, he will go into narcissistic rage, or he'll just eliminate you from his life. Now, that's the extreme. Now, different people on the gradation that are not that extreme, but they're still very narcissistic. They didn't outgrow it. We all start off with it's just me and my hunger, and the need to poop and have some milk and get those lights out of my eyes. We all start off with that. But a normal progression of maturity and decency is to go beyond that, to become more humble, as Tony was saying. And as Tony is, you can just hear it in Tony's voice, a humble man. In this life, you're going to suffer, and that suffering is good for us. It's good for us. It's a gift. You're going to come against forces like this where people don't care, and it's going to make you say, I don't want to be like that. Look how you are to me. I want to be better than that. You don't care about me. I want to care about others. You don't show any compassion for me. I want to show compassion for others. I don't feel any love from you. I want to show love to others. So you want to use these things to harness virtue and honor within yourself, because that stuff's going to keep coming at you. It's going to keep coming. It's going to keep coming. But then you want to transform it, and you can ask God to help you, because God will want you to transform that into giving the thing you're not getting. All the offenses against you show you how you don't want to be. Let it make you more resolved in your goodness, more resolved in your virtue, more resolved in your honor. That's making productive use. And when you approach it that way, everybody becomes your teacher. They show you how to be a better human being. It could be as a positive example, I want to be like that guy, but the negative example, boy, I sure don't want to be that way. I don't want to be so self-absorbed. I want to be kinder to other people. I don't like this. Oh, I don't like what. Oh, I want to be better than that, kinder than that. And it all works for our good. As it says in Scripture, all things work for good for those who love the Lord. Outside of Scripture, all things work for good. If you seek the good, all things work for good. And as I say to people, enshrine within your deepest struggle. Enshrine within your deepest struggle is the seed of your nobility, your legacy, and your honor within your deepest struggle. There's beautiful things that come out of it. Nobody wants to struggle. Everybody say, I'd like to have an easy life. I just want peace. Well, we're not here for that. We're here to grow. We're just here for a little while. 120 years, that's a lot. 100 years, 90 years, and we're gone. I'm 84 yesterday, and I mean this really. So it sounds funny. Yesterday, I was 28. I'm 84. So it's going to go like that for you, too. I'm not alone with that. It's going to go like that. In fact, the older you get, the faster time goes. It accelerates. So the little bit of time we're here, we're preparing ourselves as eternal souls for our eternal journey. These hardships are a healing medicine. It's a gift to us. God, I'm extremely grateful for the gift of trials and tribulations that bring me closer to you. I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. And we say, what's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? I hope to come back much stronger than ever, God willing. We suffer. We don't deny the suffering, but we harness the power to keep growing and improving. That's the only way it happens. Now,
Yeah.
It's either that or we can sit there and complain and say, oh, no, woe is me. Why me, Lord? Why me? Look at all these horrible people out there, just awful, awful people. You can do that. I don't want to live like that. And I don't want you to have to live like that. Thank you so much, Tony, for your lovely, lovely input. You're very inspiring.
Doctor, I appreciate you so much. I'm sorry I missed you last week.
Listen, you're here now. You're here now, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're feeling better, and thank you for your input. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Who else has something you'd like to ask or say?
Hey, this is Robert. How you doing?
Robert in San Diego. I'm going to see you next week, Robert.
This is a little bit humbling too. Is sometimes when we deal with problems, it's hard not to kind of self-center and start looking like, why me? Why am I only dealing with this? And seeing that, and as positive as you try to be, sometimes it does really get self-absorbed. And one of the ways I've recently, and I can say I admit some things like that. One of the ways I recently, found a way to get out of that, and all the honor teachings is really helping that is, I recently went down to Zona Norte, one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the world in Tijuana. There's a mission friends that did that, and I worked down there on one of their days that they're feeding the homeless. You spend a few hours down there, you forget any of your problems, just spending time talking with them, sharing stories with them. It's so uplifting, and especially with another way to share honor, and I can tell you that just a few hours of that, you don't have any issues, really.
Well, that's through service of coming out of us. Let me show you how strongly this thing works. Okay, right now in Iran, the beautiful Iranian people are being slaughtered on the streets by a very brutal regime. Brutal. Shot down, killed, tortured. Thousands and thousands. Now, let's say your car doesn't start in the morning. At that time, are you more upset about the people dying, the children and teenagers and young adults dying in Iran, or the fact that your car didn't start? Are you more upset that the car didn't start, or more upset that those people are dying just brutally on the streets? What are you more upset about, truthfully? I've noticed for many years, I get more upset about the car not starting, and that shows the self-absorption. You say, wow, these people are going through this. Or, as Robert was saying, thinking about the hungry and the destitute in Tijuana. At that moment, the car didn't start, or you lost your keys, and you're more absorbed in that. Oh, my God, what'd you do with my keys? And you're not even thinking about people starving in Tijuana. You're not thinking about people being shot in the streets and being put in prison, and women being raped and being killed on the street. You're not even thinking about it. So I'm just giving you little vignettes where we just get into a very cut off way. All of us, just to show none of us have totally transcended that. I haven't. But it's a direction to go in. I don't say we ever totally achieve it, but that's the direction. So none of us should think we've gone beyond that self-centeredness. We haven't. We're having a nice meal. We're having a good time. Some homeless guy in the street's not eating. Doesn't matter to us. He doesn't eat. I'm going to eat my food. You see, pass him on the street, maybe you give him some food, or you say, "What? I feel bad for the guy," and just go on. Well, that's life. So we all have some degree of that self-centeredness. We have to survive. I'm not saying it's all a bad thing, but I'm just saying it's a dimension of the self-centeredness we have. And it's a gradual process going beyond that. We want to evolve to a point we feel compassion. We feel wisdom just pouring from us in this compassion and that love. And yet at the same time, chop wood and carry water, vacuum the house, do things we have to do. But in a sense of more perspective, so that we don't just get caught up in a very limited definition of who we are at that moment. That's a journey. I'm not saying we ever totally get there. I don't know anybody who's there. I'm certainly not there. I've evolved a lot in my 84 years, but there's a lot of room to go. The dimensions of perfection and virtue are infinite. Robert, always great to hear from you, Robert. You're a great man, Robert. Thank you. Yeah, he made a good point. He says, while you're struggling, we need to remember other people are struggling. And listen, the big example of this on the road, you by mistake cut a guy off. You didn't mean anything personal, just trying to get to the exit. And he pulls on you, he's flipping you off and beeping the horn. You see this all the time. People just say, he's insulted me, he's offended me, he's cut me off. So it's just like, the world revolves around me. He's doing this to challenge me, to disrespect me. No, he just made a mistake. But because of the self-centeredness, he's taking it personally. One of the laws of honor, it's not about me, nothing personal. And this goes on all the time on the roads, all the time. You've seen it. Heck, you might be doing it. 53% of Americans do it at least 2 more times per year. And that's part of why we have 29,000 deaths a year due to aggressive driving and angry driving. There's an example right there. The self-absorption. You did this to me, and the guy didn't do it to you. He was just trying to get an exit, and he was afraid of missing his exit. He meant no harm. So that's what you see on the roads is an example of what I'm talking about in terms of how to be less selfish. In other words, how to be less self-centered and more humble. But thank you for bringing that up. Rex, do you have something you want to say, brother?
Yeah, I do, Doctor. Thank you for taking me in. And I just wanted to share a little bit about being self-centered and how we all are subject to that growing up and building ourselves as individuals. And I think a lot of it is that, we want to do well. We want to be successful. We want to be loved. We want to be accepted. And that's all part of it. And so I truly believe that throughout my years of life, that, as you move along, if you have experienced that self-absorbed, and you've gone through this, if all of a sudden you share and you want to be generous and be good to others and accept them for who they are and understand them, and then, be good to them, all of a sudden, you know what? It's going to come back to you huge. And
so Rex is qualified to make these statements because Rex evolved into this very generous, giving, beautiful human being, taking care of his wife for a very long time as she was dying, taking care of his best friend as he was dying in his home. His best friend died in his home, his wife died in his home, and his sister's been there taking care of his sister. So Rex has gone to that position. Not saying he was always like that, but since I've known Rex over the years now, certainly has manifested that. So you're qualified to make that statement.
So, yeah, I just wanted to share with others that I truly believe in your life, if you share with others and you're kind to others, it's going to come back to you huge.
And that's true. It'll come back. They say what goes around comes around. But the kindness is its own reward. The lovingness is its own reward. The service to others is its own reward. Goodness is its own reward. Whether or not the world gives you something or the world despises you, to live honorably, honor is an end in itself. Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, it's been my pleasure to present this. Anybody else have anything you want to ask or say before we conclude?
Miss Doctor, this is Giovanna.
Giovanna, good to hear from you.
Yes, so this was a very, very nice topic for me. That I actually can recall some situations where this just feeling that people either don't care or are ungrateful or my effort is taken for granted. And,
yes.
And just not feeling recognized definitely had put me in a very bad place.
Yes.
Personally. And it kind of took some self-digging and self-enhancements and for me to actually grow as a person, for me to be able to understand that yes, we are selfish, and we have to have a certain level of selfishness, which we translate as confidence. But I think that a lot of people have actually mistaken the word confidence that is required as human beings to be able to move around in this world, and have abused it and become selfish, and thus the birth of this narcissistic actions that we at times have.
Wow, that is so profound. The birth of the narcissism. Wow, I love it. I love what you said. It's like a poem. I see a poem in there. Takes a certain amount of selfishness to survive in the world, because nobody else is going to look out for you the way you're going to look out for you. That's true. So the thing is to take care of ourselves, to be independent, and then within that to be able to have the strength to serve and recognize the needs and the vulnerability and the beauty of other people, and to be able to express that gratitude for their beauty, for what they're contributing to you and to others. But in terms of being taken for granted, I think that's the norm.
Yes.
It's for us to appreciate what others do and not be demeaned by their attitude. Say, well, he can't help it. That's where he's at. But my goal is to live with virtue, with honor, and that person just can't give gratitude. It's not in them to give it. That person it can't help being self-absorbed. That's where they're at in their state of development. And this one, I wish them well. I hope they will grow in love, and grow in perspective, and grow in honor. So what you can do is wish them well. At the same time, we can't let ourselves be abused. We can't let a person abuse us.
Yes,
at the same time.
It also takes a certain level of humility from each of us to understand that other people may not necessarily be ungrateful, that they just do not recognize or show gratitude in the way that we might expect it. They might do it in different ways that's true. Could possibly not be visible to us.
It's true. They could be grateful in their own way. Very often it's just not there. But it could be in a way that their love language could be very different than our love language. That's true. Very often I think it's just not there because the people are just absorbed, and that's not meant personally against us. It's just because of their. Listen, if a person can't see, they're literally physically blind. You're going to be upset that they can't admire a painting you made. Well, they can't see.
Exactly. Yes.
They can't see it. So why would you be upset with a guy who's not seeing what a beautiful painting? He can't see it. So that's a metaphor where the people literally can't see the goodness that they're involved in, the beauty, the love. To them, it's all negative. It's all what they don't have, what they wish they had, the regrets at what they did, or their anger at what the world's done to them. They can't see through that. And just that they're not killing people is a great thing because they're so upset, but they don't kill anybody. It's a wonderful thing, not killing somebody. So, yeah, the person is emotionally, spiritually disabled. That's why one of the laws of honor, it's not about me. It's nothing personal. That was beautiful what you said. I'm so grateful to you that you shared what you did. That was very, very meaningful, Giovanni. Very, very much so.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Enjoyed this session.
Yes, me too. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Nerenberg.
Who is this?
This is Anel.
Anel, good to hear from you, and I'll be seeing you soon. Yeah.
Yes. Hi. So I want to piggyback on what you just mentioned right now because it kind of reminded me of the chats and the deeps, but in a giving way, right? So for example, as a deep, you kind of invest into a relationship by the things you're doing. It's almost like, I'm going to do this for you. We're going to build a relationship, right? And for the chats, it's almost like, oh, thank you for doing that. Let me move on now. It's not that deep, right? Like, thank you. Doesn't necessarily mean that they have to repay me in such a way, not that they're ungrateful. Maybe their way of, that relationship to them, it's more like a chat wise where they're just like surfacey. Does that kind of make sense?
It does. Yeah, I would say a deep, who likes to go deep with things, will give a deep loving, a deep caring. Mm-hmm. And the chat might notice that. That's so nice. And then, can you pass the mustard, please?
Right.
Pass the eggs. Thank you. But that was so nice. Thank you. Yeah, that's how that would go. And you can't hold it against the chat because it's a chat. It might be very honorable, might be very decent, might be better than we are. But that's just where he's at. Deeps in the chats. And I have a book on that called Unifying the Two Human Races, The Deeps in the Chats. And now I'm so glad you brought that up, and now.
Yes, of course.
Thank you. As always, you're a deep.
Hi, Dr. Nerenberg. This is Kayla.
Kayla, good to hear from you, Kayla.
Hi, I just want to say that this lecture, I just love how relatable it is to all of us because, like you said, we all have some of it in us. We have the ability to be narcissistic, all of us, but it's a matter of honor and decision how much we want to act on that, unless, of course, we are like have a disorder or something. But everything that Gisela and
Giovanni, yeah,
was so relatable because it's so easy to get mad at others when you're suffering, and like family issues, parents, and people on the road. And sometimes, like she said, with the chats and the deeps, it can feel lonely, and you can take it personal that it may seem like nobody cares as much as you do. So then it's like so easy to cut people off or be mad at them and hold grudges. But really, this honor program is helping me to think of maybe they're suffering, maybe they're just a chat, or maybe they're just indifferent, or they're suffering from something. So it helps to not focus on our self-absorption and focus on them and what may be going on in their life too. So,
and that's that's so wonderful what you just said. It's a lifelong process. One of the laws of honor, I hope you respond much more to your vulnerability than your negativity. It's not about me, nothing personal. All of this is a step out of our own ego boundaries. And what you said was so profound and it touched my heart, and it went to the heart of the matter. Right to the heart of the matter. And I'm grateful that you added that. And then, we've got these videos circulating all over the world. So we have 1,800,000 views. We have over 21,000 subscribers. So people will be hearing this thing. It's going to help a lot of people throughout the world. We have a lot of people in India that have listened, in Iraq, the Philippines, America, all over. So all these comments are helping all of us here today and helping people throughout the earth. So very grateful for your wisdom and your articulateness and your emotional intelligence to say these things. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you. I consider myself a deep. Sometimes it's hard to talk the chat, but
yes.
I would also like to say that the thing you brought up on the road is such a big deal nowadays. Like the road rage is real. It's so sad how we've become so self-absorbed that we almost forget that we're all people on the road. And it's like, since I became a mom, I have a baby in the car. My driving is different. I'm like slower. I'm like more anxious, and I'm getting honked at, and things are just different. So I'm just thinking about my situation and how it changed. And I may have been the one impatient before. And I'm just thinking like, oh, maybe that's a new mom on the road who's going so slow or something, or not paying attention to the turn. But I really like to say that I wish you well. I wish you well. I wish you well has really worked for me.
That's a very powerful statement. The other one is I refuse to allow you to control my anger ever. I refuse to allow you to control my anger ever. I wish you well. Those will help get us past these self-absorption. Each time we overreact. Whenever we lost your perspective, we overreact. And each one is like another nail in the coffin, another bar in the prison of self, another little shadow over your eyes. Every time you get these kind of reactions, you're upset, you're angry, you're overreacting, it's another little gray spot over the eye. Somebody looks at you and goes, well, you're not there, are you? Where are you? They could look at your eyes, they could see you're not there because it's been just covered over with all these resentments and angers and overreactions. So glad you said it this way. You touched on very profound issues that you're obviously a very profound individual. Thank you so much for that input. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Hey, Doctor, it's Claudia.
Oh, Claudia, always good to hear from you, Claudia.
Well, I just wanted to share the deep person. Just recently had to deal with a situation that, people knowing that I'm in this program, almost at, I don't know, I just want to feel like I'm trying to express it in a manner that's respectful and honorable, that they manipulate the fact that I'm in this program. And, there was a comment made, oh, you're just sensitive. You're just fragile and you can't handle truths. And I did get upset. I really did. And I blocked these people and I love them. And they're just so hurt. And they take what I'm sharing with them.
Let me interrupt you a second. If you say to me, Dr. I think you're very fragile and you can't handle everything. If I was to be really honest and hear it, not get caught off guard and defensive, I would say, Claudia, you're right. I'm very fragile. I'm very humble. I'm all things human. But you know what? I'm going to come back stronger than ever. And good's going to come from my fragileness because it helps me understand other people's fragileness, makes me more compassion. And because I suffer in my fragileness, my insecurities and my fragileness, I can understand others and have more compassion. So you're right, I am very fragile. And thank God I am, because now I can understand and see the fragileness of others. So that would be if I didn't get defensive and I had the presence of mind. I would say, yeah, I'm fragile. I can't handle it. But I wouldn't say I can't. I am handling it. But it's difficult. I struggle. And you know what? Nobody's going to tell me you don't struggle. Oh, no, don't tell me that. If you want to tell me that, go ahead. But hey, that means you're one in a billion. And maybe there's 8 billion people on the planet. You're one of 8. Congratulations. Yeah. So that's all you can go with that. So yeah, but that's if I'm at my best. At my worst, I can go, well, why are you saying that to me? But, at my best, that's what I would hope to say. I'm very fragile. Hey, I am very fragile. I am very insecure. I'm less insecure than I used to be. I'm less fragile than I used to be. But it's still there. You hit the right button on me, I'm going to go like that. But because I'm so committed to the way of honor, I recite the commands of honor and the laws of honor, because repetition is preparation for application. I'm more likely to respond in an honorable way. It doesn't mean I'm then carrying around some stuff in me for a while. You may not ever see it, but I'm carrying it around from what you said. But guess what? When I get that negativity, Claudia, I will protect you from myself. You do something to hurt me, I'll protect you from me.
Yeah. I
won't come back at you. And so somebody says that to me, I won't hurt him back.
Right. No, and I was pissed off, to tell you the truth, because I was called selfish when all I've done is give and give and give and give.
You know what, Claudia? I know you well. You're a lovely, beautiful, magnificent human being, a noble human being. People can't see it. They just see whatever they're going to see. And all you can do when they call you selfish, you say, yeah, I am selfish, but I'm less selfish today than I was 10 years ago. And I keep evolving, which I'm grateful for. God's been good to me and blessed me to be less selfish. But thank you for pointing it out to me, because I have a long way to go. I'm just talking to me at my best. I'm not talking, every time I would respond that way. But I'm just being honest with you. The best, I'm giving you what I look at as the most honorable kind of response to that, because the bridge is, what's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? And I can't help feeling hurt. I can't help being humiliated and put down. I get that feeling, but I'm going to come out with something honorable. What'll leave my lips will be honorable. What's inside there, I'm going to have to work it out. I may walk around for a while going boing, and then I got to work this out. But I'll spare you, and I won't take it out on other people. 99% of the time, I won't take it out on them.
Yeah.
But thank you for sharing that. And you are a deep, and you are a magnificent, noble, beautiful human being. I'm going to say that from knowing you.
I appreciate it.
And your texts that you send are profound. I mean, you're no joke. You're the real deal.
Thank you for the inspiration, and really that the Chats in the Deep book is helpful. There is many times that I've said this before, and I've shared it with you, that I feel like I don't, and I know we're not of this world. I know that. You
feel you don't belong.
Yeah.
You belong with the deeps, and the gathering that we have here in the honor movement is the gathering of the deeps. We're about 2% of the population. Now, you belong, but not with most people. You belong with us. but not with most people. The same goes for me. I don't expect people to understand me or value me or love me or respect me. I embrace the world, but I can't expect them to embrace me or to understand me. I'm okay. It took me a long time because I was pretty angry about a good part of my life. And I said, no, they can't help it. It's okay. I love them.
Thank you, Tom.
I just want to respond to Claudia. I can relate to that as well. It's just, I try to remember, I don't know what it is about people, but it's so much easier to focus on the negative and like the suffering instead of like all the good things that someone has done. And so I just, I try to remember that about people because I know with deeps and chats or whoever, like we
But
get
look
caught
what
up
you
in
just
that.
said. Let me just interrupt you. I try to remember. Wow. We should all listen to that. I try to remember the good. Wow. That's the key right there. I try to remember. You might fail some of the time. I try to remember. You're doing this, it's really bothering me. But, you know, you've shown your love for me in a million ways. This is really hurtful, but I won't forget all you've done for me, all you've been for me. I try to remember. That to me is one of the most profound things anybody can say. I try to remember.
But not everybody does that. And that's
Oh,
why
no,
it's
practically,
hurtful.
no. Let me change that statement. You can't say not everybody remembers. No. Practically nobody remembers. Practically nobody. But that's it. But our job is not to be one of those nobodies who doesn't remember. Our job is to remember. Our job is to remember the way of honor, to remember our love. You know, one of the things I have a beautiful marriage, but once in a while things get tough. So some of the laws of love, I love you, I adore you, I cherish you. So I noticed I was getting an issue with my wife, and I would forget my love. It was just, I say something back. I just walk around fuming inside. So then I said, what? Then I start saying, I love you, I adore you, I cherish you. I say to myself, so I don't forget my love. I don't forget. The only way not to forget, there's only one way. You have to keep reminding yourself every day. Say it 3 times a day. I love you, I adore you, I cherish you. So if something comes up, I feel set off. I go, no, I love you, I adore you, and I cherish you. So now, it doesn't mean I feel love at that moment, but I'm committed to remembering that love. I'm committed to remembering I adore her and cherish her. And she does so much for me. I'm so grateful. But at the moment when I'm feeling disturbed, I say, no, I know she loves me. I know that. I know my wife would die for me. But at the moment, the feeling is not there. I'm hurt. I'm bothered. So that's why the way to remember. There's only one way to remember, not 2 ways. Only one way. You have to remind yourself 3 times a day. That's why I tell people you got to recite the 4 commands of honor 3 times a day with the bridge. What's the most honorable thing to think, say, and do? And some of the laws of honor. If you don't repeat it 3 times a day, you can't remember. You can't. You just get caught up in overreacting and feeling things, thinking things, saying things that you wish you didn't say. And just remember the 2 types of thoughts. 2 types. The thoughts that pop into your mind but do not define who you are. It's based on your genetics, your family upbringing, societal norms, and most of that is negative. Then there's the thoughts you choose to have. Like, for instance, right now, have this thought 3 times. I wish you well. Think it 3 times right now. I know you did it rapidly, effortlessly, naturally. So you chose your thought. You chose how many times to recite it. That's a thought you could choose. So we can't help getting the negative thoughts, the hurt thoughts, the humiliated thoughts, the jealous thoughts, the overwhelmed thoughts, the angry thoughts. But we can choose to balance it with an honorable thought, a constructive thought, a positive thought. We can make that choice. And that's what the commitment, that's what the way of honor is. One of the laws of honor, I'll follow all negative reactions with positive self-talk. I'll follow all negative reactions with positive self-talk immediately. These are the secrets of how to do it. I didn't know this most of my life. Nobody told me. I didn't read some book. I didn't learn it in graduate school. I didn't learn it in undergraduate school. I didn't learn it from taking classes in psychology. Life taught it to me. The Holy Spirit taught it to me. And I'm sharing it with you. I like to tell people I'm 84 years old and I finally know what I'm talking about. I just didn't start catching on until I was 70. Most of you, almost all of you are younger, much younger than me. Most of you are way under 70. And you're way ahead of where I was at your age. Your average age of you right now is 40 years old. You're way ahead of where I was at 40. And then I want to share this to you so you can go way beyond me.
Yeah.
That's my intention.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome, Rex.
Hi, Doctor.
Yes.
Hi, this is Kenny Mack.
Very good to hear from you.
And I really appreciated this talk today. I liked what everybody had to say. And, sorry if people are going through that. I think sometimes people are threatened when they see us working on ourselves and becoming better people. And they'll take it out on us. And
that's very true. I've known people who stop drinking, and the people are pretty upset. They're drinking buddies. Why? Come on, have a drink. What do you think? You're better than us? Have a drink. They get upset. You're leaving this way of life. And that applies in many levels. Well said.
And then, another thing I have to remind myself sometimes, it's really none of my business what other people think of me.
Yeah, it's true. It's none of your business. But it's none of your business. It's true. I agree with that. And to the extent you can live that, that's great. Well, because what matters to me is not what you think of me, but rather what I can give to you. That's what matters. But I love that. That's beautiful. Beautiful.
And I try to be, and to me, humility, because you mentioned humility a lot throughout your talk tonight, and that's being right size. And I think there's a balance, right? Because we can go too far in caring about other people where we start neglecting our own needs.
And listen, we don't want to become doormats. We don't want to be taken advantage of because it's not good for us, not good for the relationship. And it's bad for the person. If the person walks on us, we're enabling him to be dishonorable. We don't want to enable him to be dishonorable. We say, hey, I'm talking to you with respect. I appreciate if you talk to me with respect. Is that okay? I hope we can do that together. We're not going to let them walk on us. No, that's not good for anybody. No. Absolutely.
I just wanted to thank you. I want to thank everybody for talking before me. I enjoyed what everybody had to share. And I wish everybody a good night.
Well, thank you for that input. And I want to double that. I'm very thankful to everybody what you've been saying. And your input has been very, very valuable.
Dr. Nerenberg?
Yes.
Hi, this is Anna.
Oh, Anna. Good to see you, Anna.
Hi. I just wanted to say thank you for this program. This has been the best time of my life. I'm so grateful for you for having this because I was able to discover myself during this time. And
I know. Yes.
Yeah, I know you know.
Yeah. Good.
I'm really happy. This is the happiest time of my life, to be honest with you.
Wow.
And I don't think this is selfish. I think I really needed this.
Well.
And I'm grateful for you.
Well, I've watched you just bubbling. I've just watched a bubble of you emerge, and I admire you and respect your journey.
Oh, and I'm 55, and I'm going to start to.
Oh, you're way ahead of me at 55. You're way ahead of where I was. Way, way ahead of me. Nice. Thank you, Anna.
But I'm grateful for you. I think this program is the best, and it's one of the best things I've done in my life.
Well, that's wonderful to hear. And we can thank God for it. We can thank the Holy Spirit for it. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Hugh, you were going to say something. Thank you, Anna.
People who've been seriously abused can become fragile, but being fragile can become a strength.
Yeah. People who've been abused can become fragile. It's true. And also a strength can emerge from that. Especially if a person's following the honor teachings or they're following the teachings from the great divine educators, that will turn into a strength. No question about it. And always the question to be asked is, what's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? Whatever degradation, setback, failure, I guarantee you there's a gain in that. I've told the stories millions of times, so many times, of people who have gained so much from their losses. So many good things have come from it. Always. What's the best true story I can tell myself about this problem? This was done to me. That was done to me. But here's the good that came from it. This is the best true story about it. It doesn't negate the trauma, but it gives meaning to it because there's the good that came out of it. It gives meaning. It's one thing to suffer, but it's another thing for your suffering to be meaningless. That's the worst suffering. It was meaningless. So once your suffering has meaning, and it's led to you becoming a greater human being, a more noble human being, well, then your suffering has meaning, and it changes the quality of your suffering, gives you a different perspective of your suffering. Well, it's been a great pleasure and a great privilege to present to you how to be less selfish and more humble. Thank you for the privilege and the opportunity and the enjoyment of being with you this evening.